Hey everyone, welcome back to Manga Minute. I'm thrilled to share my latest recap video with you. If you missed the previous one, no worries, just take a quick peek in the description below for the link. Now, let's dive right in and enjoy.
The news anchor reported during the snowstorm. The Earth has entered a new ice age. Global temperatures continue to drop with no signs of stopping. But please, don't give up hope. The government hasn't forgotten about us. As long as we stand together, we will overcome this crisis. Let's together. Suddenly, the television glitched, and the broadcast was cut off. A girl knocked on the door, calling out for Hanfeng. When he opened the door, he was surprised to see Hyona standing there. "Hyona, what are you doing here?" he asked, welcoming her inside and urging her to seek shelter from the dangers outside. Without responding, Hyona kissed Hanfeng right in front of the door. Taken aback, Hanfeng was shocked by her sudden action. Hyona then confessed that she had realized he was the one she truly loved. She explained that it took a crisis to reveal someone's true colors and to see who genuinely cared and would be there no matter what. Whispering, she told Hanfeng to feel her heartbeat and expressed her willingness to do anything with him now. Hanfeng, overwhelmed by her words, struggled to find the right response. His breathing grew heavier as he tried to process the situation. Hyona placed her hand on his cheek and, with a seductive tone, urged him to close his eyes. Trusting her, Hanfeng closed his eyes, asking what would happen next. At that moment, a man suddenly appeared and struck Hanfeng on the head, causing him to collapse without even realizing what had hit him. Hyona, seeing Hanfeng's lifeless body, was horrified. The man, however, coldly reminded her that she knew deep down this had to happen. The world had gone to hell a long time ago, and one less mouth to feed wouldn't change anything. As he rifled through Hanfeng's belongings, he mentioned that if they played their cards right, they might survive until someone rescued them. As his consciousness gradually faded, Hanfeng found himself unable to move, pondering if he was dying. The events he had experienced flashed through his mind, and he bitterly realized that this was what it felt like to die. He blamed the cold-hearted woman for his fate. His final thought before completely closing his eyes was a vow that if there was a next life, he would no longer be a lovesick puppy. In his unconscious state, Hanfeng was startled by a warm light. He wondered if this was the path to heaven. As he reached out to touch the light, he felt an intense sensation and was suddenly absorbed into it. Jolting awake, Hanfeng quickly scanned his surroundings, confused and disoriented. Bathing his hand in the sunlight, he marveled at the warmth, something he thought he would never feel again. Hanfeng just checked the date, it's June 28th, and as the apocalypse, it started on July 15th. He was supposed to be dead, but he has come back in time half a month before the apocalypse. Which means, he has been reborn. But something's different this time. Something strange is happening. Ever since he woke up, this red glow light, it's been around his right hand the whole time. It doesn't seem to do anything else. He thought he was imagining things at first. As Hanfeng analyzed his red glowing hand, he suddenly sneezed, causing the light on his hand to turn green. Taken aback, he noticed the green light growing larger. Unable to rationalize the situation, he observed beams of light shooting out of his hand and wondered how science could possibly explain this phenomenon. He realized that the green light was different from the red one. It was erratic, shrinking and growing unpredictably. Suddenly feeling completely drained, Hanfeng surmised that the green light might be the cause of his exhaustion. The more he thought about it, the more frustrated he became. What was this strange power? Then, a revelation struck him. This situation was just like those Manhwa stories he had read, where the protagonist was always reborn with cheat-like powers. As Hanfeng tried to test his newfound power, he noticed it didn't seem to react. Then, his stomach rumbled loudly, reminding him of his hunger. Opening the fridge, he found it empty, realizing he needed to eat something soon or he would pass out. Fortunately, he found some roasted soybeans, leftover snacks from before the apocalypse. They weren't a full meal, but they would suffice for now. He decided he would need to visit the supermarket later to restock. He quickly took the beans and began to eat them. However, as soon as a bean entered his mouth, it exploded, and a full plant of bean sprouts emerged. Hanfeng was taken aback. He realized he no longer felt tired and the green light had vanished. It seemed to have something to do with the soybeans. Peeling another bean, he confirmed it was indeed a bean sprout. With enthusiasm, he contemplated this incredible discovery, eager to study his newfound power further. However, his immediate concern was more pressing. He needed to stock up on supplies before the situation worsened. As Han Feng made his way to the supermarket, he deeply contemplated his situation. He recapped the events. First, the red glow around his hand, then it turned green. The green glow shrank and grew, making his heart beat faster and leaving him feeling exhausted. When he touched the soybeans with his glowing hand, they became bean sprouts. He wondered what kind of power he had stumbled upon. Lost in thought, Han Feng was suddenly interrupted by a familiar voice calling his name. Han Feng! Han Feng! What a coincidence! Are you out shopping too? It's like fate, running into you like this. Startled, Han Feng looked up and saw the girl. Li Hyona? He exclaimed. Li Hyona, the goddess of Han Feng's dreams for 3 long years. He had done everything to make her happy, even when he knew he was nothing but a fallback guy. But he never thought she'd end up getting him killed. Maintaining his composure, Han Feng reminded himself not to act on revenge just yet. He needed to secure supplies first. Lost in thought, he was suddenly brought back to reality by Hyona calling his name repeatedly. Oh, sorry, Han Feng replied, regaining his composure. You're looking especially beautiful today, Hyona. I got a bit lost in the moment. Hyona chuckled at his compliment. Oh my, stop it. Since when did you get so smooth? She flirted further, suggesting they do some shopping together now that they had run into each other. Unlike before, Han Feng quickly declined. Sorry, I can't today, he said firmly, leaving Hyona behind. As he walked away, he reflected on her attempt to use him as her personal ATM once again. This time, he wasn't going to fall for it. The Waldemar in a city, the largest and most well-stocked supermarket in the East region. Of course, when the Ice Age hit, this place was cleaned out overnight. Nobody ever found out who did it. As Han Feng carefully picked out items from the shelves, he murmured to himself, I need to stock up as much as I can before the apocalypse hits. Consulting guidance on a website via his phone, Han Feng realized the extensive list of necessities. Food, winter clothes, medicine, daily essentials, fuel, there was a lot to prepare. However, he faced a more immediate problem as he opened his wallet and found it nearly empty. What am I supposed to do with this? He muttered in frustration. Suddenly, a notification flashed on his phone. A message from Money Jar Loans. It congratulated him on his credit evaluation approval for a loan up to 168,800 yuan. Han Feng's eyes lit up with newfound hope. That's right. How did I forget about this option? He exclaimed. There are plenty of ways to get a loan, and I won't have to pay it back after the apocalypse anyway. With renewed determination, Han Feng clicked to confirm his loan eligibility, knowing it would provide the financial means he desperately needed to prepare for the impending catastrophe. Hyona, feeling rejected and irritated by Han Feng's refusal, muttered to herself about him being just another one of her admirers. She was caught off guard as someone honked at her. Looking up, she saw Han Feng driving a luxury car. Oh, if it isn't Hyona, Han Feng greeted her. Startled, Hyona asked, Han Feng? Is this car yours? Han Feng replied casually, Yeah, just got it. My dad's been doing really well in the US business-wise, so he wired me some cash. Just dropped him off at the airport, actually. Regretful for misjudging him earlier, Hyona apologized. Oh, you were taking your father to the airport today? I'm sorry for asking you to go shopping with me without knowing. You seemed distant earlier, so I thought maybe you were avoiding me. Chuckling, Han Feng reassured her. Silly girl, why would I ever ditch you, Hyona? You're too important to me. Blushing, Hyona admitted. You know, you're pretty special to me too, Han Feng. How about we have dinner and watch a movie tonight? I want to get to know you better. What do you think? However, she was startled to find that Han Feng had disappeared from in front of her just a moment ago. As Han Feng organized his belongings, he sighed, feeling the weight of the task ahead. Man, I still have to carry all these things up. So busy, so busy. Taken aback by the amount he bought, Hyona asked, Why did you buy so much stuff? Han Feng shrugged nonchalantly. Nothing special, just some things I like. Oh right, I got you a present too. As Hyona bid him farewell and headed home, Han Feng smirked to himself. I can't let her find out about my little stockpile. It's my ticket to surviving the apocalypse, after all. His expression turned sinister as he continued. Just you wait. Once the world ends, you'll get what's coming to you. Both of you, especially the guy who helped you kill me. Actually, I'm starting to look forward to the apocalypse. July 15th, the day it will all begin. Heavy snow. Temperatures will plummet to 20 degrees Celsius. Over the next month, temperatures will continue to drop gradually, reaching lows of -70 degrees Celsius. The world will be encased in ice and snow, making it impossible to go outside. That's why Hanfeng needs to stock up on enough food supplies. Food, and it all needs to be packed and sealed. Can't let the neighbors suspect that he is hoarding all the food. And sensitive supplies must be moved by himself at night when no one's around. After the apocalypse, the power grid will be extremely unstable. That's where this bad boy comes in, a generator plus enough fuel to keep it running for a year at least. When the apocalypse hits, the heating system will stop, so he needs to modify the house for independent heating. And also reinforce those doors and windows while he is at it. And he needs a dedicated room for storing the supplies too. By the time he finished getting everything ready, it was already July 14th, just one day before the temperature plummets. Next is the time for the main event. As Hanfeng calculated his next steps, he contemplated the challenge of surviving the impending Ice Age apocalypse. Relying solely on the supplies he had accumulated wouldn't suffice. The power to manipulate plants seemed to be his only hope. Analyzing a cooked soybean, he mused, all these soybeans, I grew them myself using my ability. But it's so random. I still haven't figured out the trigger. Taking a spoonful of the food, he resolved, all right, time for a taste test. I've got to make sure these things are edible. After confirming the soybeans were indeed edible, Hanfeng exclaimed, as I thought, this ability can produce food. Planning his next move, he continued, now I need to figure out how to use this ability effectively. So far, I've only tried it on soybeans. Opening his fridge, he added, I need to see if this ability works with other plants too. Hanfeng regained consciousness. He felt the throbbing pain in his head. Did I just pass out? My head is killing me. Guess this power takes a serious toll on my mind and body, he muttered to himself. Attempting to understand his newfound ability, he reflected, still, at least I learned something about this ability. Before blacking out earlier, Hanfeng had experimented with his power on various plants. Some plants showed no reaction at all, while others grew rapidly from seeds into mature plants, similar to what happened with the soybeans. Some unfortunate plants exploded, leaving behind lightweight coal-like substances that could be used for heating. He continued testing repeatedly, trying to discern any patterns or principles governing his ability. As he focused on honing his control, Hanfeng reminded himself, focus, control your breathing. Despite his efforts, the success rate remained frustratingly random. The success rate of this is way too erratic. I can't find any patterns at all. There's got to be some underlying principle to how this ability works, he thought aloud. But at least I've identified that consciousness is key. I need to imagine myself as part of the natural world. Eager to explore further, Hanfeng decided to try his ability on meat. Placing his glowing hand on the meat, he was disappointed when nothing happened. No reaction to meat. Don't tell me it only works on plants. Frustrated but determined, he closed his eyes and focused his mind. Come on, work your magic. Still, nothing happened. Meditating deeper, Hanfeng sensed two distinct colors associated with his ability, though he hadn't yet utilized the red one. His curiosity piqued. He wondered how this could potentially expand his powers beyond what he had already discovered with plants. As Hanfeng experimented with his ability in a new approach, he focused on the red light, commanding it, all right, red light, show me what you got. Unlike his previous attempts, this time the meat began to glow in red light. However, to his dismay, the meat quickly turned rotten, almost as if it had been cooked and then left to spoil. Analyzing the results, Hanfeng pondered. The meat reacted to the red light, but it feels like it got cooked or something. Is that all the red light does? Heat things up. Digging deeper into his thoughts, he realized, no, it's more than that. It's like a disintegration process. A revelation struck him. No way. If the green light represents the evolution of matter, and the red light is the opposite, disintegration, what if I combine them? Excited by his hypothesis, Han Feng swiftly grabbed the meat with the red light on his left hand and the soybeans with the green light, merging them together. Successfully implementing his ability, Han Feng was astonished. Whoa, the meat got bigger. But where did the soybeans in my hand go? Did they merge with the meat? Examining the enhanced meat, he marveled. This is incredible. It looks, feels, and smells exactly like real meat, but even fresher somehow. Determined, he declared, "One more time." However, his subsequent attempts all ended in failure. Frustrated, Han Feng lamented, "Come on, why? Why did they all fail?" Setting aside his disappointment, he resolved, "Forget it. I'll take my time to figure that out later." Anyway, today was still productive. Imagining a bright future for himself, he enthused, "If I can just master this power, I'll be the man standing at the pinnacle of this apocalyptic world." Waha! But then, another pressing matter dawned on him. Wait a second. Food's not going to be enough. I'm completely defenseless out here. I've got to hurry and find myself a weapon before the temperatures drop. Determined to secure his survival, Han Feng turned his focus to finding the means to protect himself in the challenging world ahead. Our protagonist trudged along the snowy road. He couldn't shake the urgency of the situation. It's here. It's really happening. Temperatures will drop to 45 below within the week. I need a gun, but buying guns is illegal, and I don't exactly have any connections. Suddenly, he overheard a loud man boasting to his friend, "Hey, I'm in construction. Millions riding on every project. You know Lao Wang from the Shigong Lida group? He's practically my big brother. Want to smoke? These cigarettes were also given to me by my big brother. Don't be shy. Take one. Don't you want to give your big brother some face?" Recognizing the man, Han Feng pondered, "I think I've seen this guy around, exaggerated fashion style. Around here we call him Homeless Joe. Li Z. Everyone around calls him Brother Li. He lives in the same neighborhood as me. He's reputed to be in charge of contracting projects, and he seems to know everyone around here. He doesn't have a proper job, but he always acts so busy. Maybe he has the connections to get what I need." Waving his hand towards Li Z, Han Feng remarked, "Brother Li, long time no see." Startled, Li responded cautiously, Do we know each other?" Han Feng chuckled, "It's me, Xiao Han. We met a while ago. Brother Li doesn't remember me?" "Oh, Xiao Han, I've been swamped with work lately. Don't blame me for my bad memory. What can I do for you?" Li replied, now recognizing him. With a conspiratorial tone, Han Feng whispered, "Well, it's like this." With a shocked expression, Li responded, What do you need that for?" His tone turned authoritative as he continued, "Look, pal, let me make this clear. We don't do anything illegal here, you hear? Guns are serious business. I've got connections. Sure, but I'm not getting you mixed up in something dangerous." Trying to explain himself, Han Feng added hastily, No, Brother Li, you've got it all wrong. It's for self-defense." Starting his story, Han Feng recounted, "One day while riding my bike to work, I ran into an old man who spat everywhere. He spat right on my face. So I confronted him. What does he do? He spits on me again. So I gave him a good beating. As he left, he said he'd get back at me. And the very next day, that guy was waiting for me with his goons. They beat me up and warned they'd do it again if they saw me." With a hint of regret, Han Feng continued, "I've never been so humiliated. That's why I want a weapon for self-defense. That's the long and short of it." Hearing Han Feng's story, Li responded in rage, "Dude, spitting on someone? That's nasty. What a jerk. Such uncivilized behavior." With determination, Li added, "Say no more, pal. I've got you covered. I'll make a call to my big brother right now. Let's do this. Let's hop on the bus. If it weren't for my Panamera being serviced, I'd drive you there myself." Han Feng quickly replied, "Don't worry about it. I've got my car." As they drove towards their destination, Li exclaimed, "Damn it, kid. You're living the good life. How much did this thing cost?" Han Feng replied casually, "About 700,000. Hearing the price, Li nodded approvingly. "Not bad. Not bad. Pretty good deal, actually." He quickly seized the moment. taking a selfie of himself inside Hanfeng's car and promptly posting it on his social media with the captions, "This new SUV is hard to seat in." Seated around the bonfire, one guy remarked, "Man, this weather is really messed up. It went straight from summer to winter overnight." The others nodded in agreement, feeling the chill of the sudden change. Without responding to the weather comment, another guy suddenly exclaimed as he spotted an approaching car, "Someone's here." As they recognized the familiar figure stepping out of the car, a man greeted him. "If it isn't Lao Li," another man joined in, asking, "What brings you here?" Explaining his presence, Li replied, "Let's go see Boss Lu. I got some stuff to handle. You guys coming?" Seeing the impressive SUV Li arrived in, another man couldn't contain his surprise. "Holy, isn't that the new Tiger SUV? You bought this thing? How much was it?" With a hint of pride in his expression, Li responded, "Oh, not much. 700 grand. Give or take." Hearing Li claim ownership of the car, Han Feng, the actual owner, couldn't help but think to himself, saying it's his own car in front of the actual owner. What a bold move. Seeing Li, Boss Lu exclaimed, "Big Mouth Li, what the hell are you doing here this late?" Li, trying to smooth things over, offered, "Boss Lu, care for a smoke?" Boss Lu snapped back, "Spit it out. I'm busy." Li quickly explained their purpose, saying, "This little brother here wants to buy something from you. He wants to get a gun." Boss Lu scoffed, "A gun? That's it? A lousy gun? I thought you were bringing me something interesting." He gestured to his right-hand man to bring what Li had come for. As the gun was presented, Boss Lu declared, 6,000. Not getting the gun he initially wanted, Han Feng persisted. "Actually, Boss Lu, I was thinking of something a little longer, with a scope." Boss Lu, visibly enraged, retorted, "Kid, don't tell me you guys are talking about a freaking sniper rifle? You think this is a shopping mall? You can't get whatever you ask for. Take this one or leave it." Trying to ease the tension, Li intervened. No, Boss Lu, there's a reason for this." He leaned in, whispering, "It all started 5 years ago. His wife." Upon hearing Li's explanation, Boss Lu was furious. "Real shit. 3 kids, and none of them his. This really pisses me off. Disgusting." Han Feng, listening to Li's embellished story, thought to himself, "The stories brother Li is making up, it's getting ridiculous, even for him." Finally agreeing to their request for a sniper rifle, Boss Lu declared, "A sniper rifle it is. I can make it happen. Might take a few days, though." He then turned to his man, ordering, "Xiangzi, arrange it. See if you can get a semi-auto. Load him up with ammo, too." As a gesture of goodwill, Boss Lu handed Han Feng a handgun, saying, "Here, take it. Consider it a gift." Grateful for the gift, Han Feng reciprocated with valuable information. "Brother Lu, a buddy of mine, he's with the government. He told me that due to the abnormal weather, they're gonna limit the purchase of supplies soon. It's best to stock up on supplies in advance." As they left Boss Lu's place, Li was visibly pleased with how things had turned out. He felt a sense of accomplishment in securing Han Feng's desired weapon, despite the initial tension. Han Feng, on the other hand, appreciated Li's effort, though he couldn't help but notice Li's tendency to exaggerate stories to achieve his goals. Han Feng had already sorted out his supplies and now focused on mastering his newfound ability. He knew that understanding and controlling it could significantly enhance his chances of survival in the impending apocalypse. However, as he made his way out, he slipped on the icy ground, injuring his leg. Li, alarmed by Han Feng's fall, rushed to his aid. Han Feng, realizing his leg might be broken, leaned on Li for support. Li, feeling helpless about not having a driver's license, initially struggled with how to help Han Feng get to the hospital. Finally, they decided to flag down a taxi, with Han Feng insisting on paying despite Li's protests. Their journey to the hospital was filled with discomfort for Han Feng, but he remained determined to overcome this setback and continue preparing for what lay ahead. Inside the office, a lady bid farewell to Jiyeon, wishing her well for the night shift ahead. Jiyeon reciprocated the sentiment, reminding the lady to take care. As Jiyeon glanced out the window, she noticed the snowfall intensifying, covering the ground in a thick blanket. Just as Jiyeon was lost in thought, contemplating the weather, her phone ringed urgently, breaking the tranquility of the office. It was a call for help from the head nurse, summoning her to the hall due to a shortage of staff. Jiyeon's immediate response conveyed her readiness to assist, acknowledging the urgency of the situation.